Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Columbus City leaders are releasing more information about a debt owed to the IRS. Last week, an agent showed up without warning at City Hall, claiming Columbus owed the agency more than $50,000. Our Stephen Pimpo talked to the mayor and the chief financial officer today. He joins us live from City Hall with more on the latest financial issues facing Columbus.
Andrea, that's right. When the IRS shows up, you don't mess around. That's what Mayor Keith Gaskin said multiple times during today's city press conference. Now, the mayor praised CFO Jim Brigham for actually saving the city around $15,000 when he found proof that the IRS actually tried to hit them with 2 additional fines by mistake. But that still left the city on the hook for about $40,000. Still just 4 months into his job as chief financial officer for Columbus, Jim Brigham was greeted by a surprise guest last week, an agent with the IRS.
We did have one large outstanding fine that came out of 2017, where we failed to, on a timely basis, report to the Social Security Administration both the 1099s and the W-2s.
Failure to submit those employee withholding forms carried an initial fine of just over $36,000, now up to about $40,000.
The IRS agent was not going to leave without collecting.
Brigham says that failure to pay would have led to a tax lien against the city.
I'm not sure if they would have done a tax lien on our equipment or our property or whatever. I'm not quite sure about that.
I think we've been very clear from for quite some time that there were some major issues that the city's been facing financially for several years, and some of it is just now coming to light.
Brigham was able to pay the agent immediately through the check write process, which allowed him to make an emergency payment before getting formal approval by the city council. The city sent the IRS a letter in 2021 that put the blame on former CFO Milton Rawl, who's currently serving 20 years in prison for embezzlement.
Just because a CFO is stealing from you doesn't mean he doesn't meet IRS deadlines and stuff. So I have to do more research on why that didn't happen.
Brigham says there was no evidence in the letter that submitting the forms had any connection to Rawl's crimes.
It simply blamed him and then went into some detail on his criminal activities, which was irrelevant to this particular situation.
Once he finds out why those forms were late, he plans on crafting his own letter asking the IRS to reduce or eliminate the fine.
The revenue agent seemed to think that if it was an effective letter, that we have a pretty good chance of getting it abated.
The new CFO told me he plans on sending that letter requesting an abatement within the next few weeks. He told me despite all of this, he remains optimistic that Columbus can eventually right their financial ship. Reporting live in Columbus, Stephen Pimpo, WCBI News.